Well, in theory, this summit is about security. In practice, I think it's going to be about dealing with the economic crisis. The effects of the global recession are being felt everywhere in the hemisphere, and the smaller countries are showing dramatic declines in terms of economic growth and very sharp increases in unemployment. These countries are very worried, and therefore they'll ask for special treatment. So I think that this topic it's going to be central. It's going to play a central role. The crisis needs a special treatment, and that means that countries that are in a weak position, that do not have savings to deal with this crisis, to stimulate their economies, will have to rely on sources that will come from the regional development banks, like the Inter-American Development Bank or the Andean Development Corporation. But they will also require more aid coming from Canada, the U.S., even from countries like Brazil that have the capacity to increase their assistance to the smaller and poorer countries. Well, one possibility is to strengthen the regional development banks. The IDB needs more capital to really be able to provide the lending that the region needs, and this is the right time to reach an agreement, including the U.S., on the additional capital for the Inter-American Development Bank. Other banks, like the Andean Development Corporation, will also benefit from higher capacity to provide lending. So I think these will be two very important issues. And a second element is trade. We're seeing protectionist measures in many countries, not just in the U.S. Countries like Brazil, Argentina have raised their tariffs and are taking protectionist measures. It will be very important that these three countries, together with Mexico, reach an agreement to prevent that and to really reverse protectionism. And ideally, for other countries like Panama and Colombia, it will be very important to have the commitment of the U.S. president to secure the approval of their pending free trade agreements. Well, Venezuela, it's expected that President Chavez will make an announcement and that he will say things that the media will amplify. But I think that in reality, he will not antagonize with President Obama, because President Obama does not offer the same possibilities that he had in the past when he criticized President Bush on the grounds of being imperialistic and of course, with the new approach of President Obama to foreign policy, it's less likely that he will be a target for President Chavez's criticisms. On the issue of Cuba, I hope that the summit does not get entrapped into the discussion of these issues, and hopefully also President Obama will make some announcements on Cuba before he goes to the summit, and that means the lifting of restrictions on travel, remittances, taking Cuba out of the list of states that support terrorism. Those are initiatives that could actually will be very well received in the region. Cuba is not a central issue for Latin America, but it's a significant one in the sense that it's a signal and help build credibility if the leaders in the region see that the U.S. is changing directions.